So I often get asked about bargain shopping or secondhand shopping. Is it okay to buy things in like thrift stores, op shops, or just secondhand in general in terms of having an abundance mindset? Does buying secondhand mean that maybe you have a poverty mindset and you're inadvertently repelling abundance? So we're going to talk about that in this video because I'm a huge fan of secondhand, thrift store and op shopping. We're going to talk about what it means and what the real difference is that determines whether you attract more money in abundance or repel it, whether you're thrift store shopping or not. And I'm going to share some of my favorite recent bargains with you that I have scored, which make me feel utterly and utterly abundant and actually help make me magnetic to more. Let's do this. Hey, I'm Miriam, and I'm here to give you lots of tips that help you transform your finances and help you feel empowered around money so you can totally rock your business and create a beautiful, abundant lifestyle. And if you're keen on more of that, then be sure to click the subscribe button and hit the notification bell. So in my Magnetic Money program, we talk about all the little things you can do that are little upgrades, little up levels, token gestures acting as if to really help you stretch your abundance mindset and start acting like the more abundant version of you, like going into stores that maybe you wouldn't normally go into, trying things on and maybe buying something. Now, there is a difference, though, between stretching your comfort zone around money and abundance, so you start expanding your capacity to receive, and plain old retail therapy that is just a short-lived high with the big credit card hangover the next day. But there are definitely ways that you can absolutely bargain shop, secondhand shop, and develop a more abundant mindset and actually become more magnetic to money in the process. So that's what we're going to tease apart for you in this video. Let's get into it. So let's talk about mindset and specifically the difference between an abundance mindset and a poverty mindset and how really where and how you shop doesn't make that much difference. So your mindset is actually all about how you think and feel and has very little to do with what you're actually doing. Let me give you an example. So say you decide to buy yourself a new Prada handbag because, damn it, you want to be that abundant lady who can have a new Prada handbag. And so you go into the store and you make your selection and you buy it, and you're doing it from a place of, God damn it, I want this and I'm sick of being poor and I'm sick of not having enough. So I'm going to do this because right now there's enough room left on my credit card for me to be able to do this and I'll figure it out later. Well, if that's how you're operating, you're actually coming from a place of lack and scarcity. That's actually a demonstration of a poverty mindset because you're grabbing what you can while you can, coming from a place of being convinced that that's not really natural and normal for you. But let's say that instead you go to Target and you decide that you just want a nice little everyday handbag that looks good, but if it doesn't last very long, who cares? And you go to Target and you find a handbag that looks amazing. It doesn't even look like it's not leather. It looks beautiful. And actually it feels really beautiful too. And it's just the right color, just the right size, has all the compartments you need. And it's incredibly cheap. And so you get all excited because you think, wow, I just scored a great handbag. Hardly anybody will know that it's just a cheap Target handbag. It's going to do the job. It matches all my outfits that I want it to match. It's going to look great when I'm wearing it. People comment on it going, love your handbag. And you just go, oh, thank you, this whole thing. And you feel $1 million. And not just you feel $1 million because you've got this cool looking bag that people keep thinking is a designer bag, but you're actually excited because you scored a bargain and the money you saved, you put towards maybe paying off an old debt that you're still working on getting rid of, or you put it into your investment account. You did something really positive and really powerful with the money that you didn't spend on that handbag because you chose to buy a cheaper one. So see how what you spend your money on doesn't really matter so much. It's how you think about what you're doing, because you could have also gone to Target and said, you know what, I'm just going to buy a cheap Target handbag because that's all I can afford. And God, be nice to be one of those people who can buy a Prada handbag, but this will have to do. And you spend every time you use that bag in a place of resentment. That's a poverty mindset. And conversely, if you'd gone into the Prada store going, how exciting, my business has just had a great month and I'm going to celebrate by buying myself a really cool designer bag that every time I use it, I'm going to use it as a reminder and to feel really excited about how wonderfully my business is doing and how abundant life is, and how, you know, a month that I thought wasn't going to be very successful in terms of profit turned out to be amazing and my best month ever. So this bag is my celebration statement. This bag is going to be my constant reminder. So see how in both cases, which store you went into and bought your bag from really didn't matter. What matters most is how you think about it. So that's a little bit about mindset and what it's really all about. Now, the other big takeaway I want you to walk away from this episode with is that feeling more abundant can actually come from spending less. You don't have to spend lots of money to feel rich and abundant. Sometimes it's choosing not to spend money that actually makes you feel more abundant, because it's really empowering to make great financial choices that move you forward so you reach your goals faster, whatever they are. So remember that it's the spirit with which you do it, and often spending less actually makes you feel a whole lot more abundant because you're spending less by choice. It's a choice you make because you are that abundant person who has their priorities straight and who makes great decisions. So in a minute, I'm going to share with you some of my recent new bargain buys that make me feel utterly abundant. But first, I want to know, let me know in the comments below, what bargain buys have you scored recently that make you feel utterly abundant? So what I really love about bargain shopping is that you get to spoil yourself with some really cool stuff that maybe you don't really need, but that you'd really like. So it allows you to feel that beautiful, luxurious sense of abundance without blowing the budget, without derailing all the good work you're doing by managing your money wisely. And when you do that, it actually makes you feel a whole lot more abundant. Bargain shopping can actually make you magnetic to a whole lot more, much faster than if you were buying the equivalent designer, high-end, full-price stuff. So let me share with you a couple of things that I've scored recently in my bargain hunting that I really, really love. And, you know, I tend to go, basically, here's my approach. When I decide I want something, and I do tend to have a list, I don't just randomly buy things mostly. I usually have a list and I'll know what I'm looking for. And I'll always just take some time out and go through my favorite thrift stores, op shops, through my favorite secondhand designer recycle stores, and just see what's there. But I have in mind that thing that I'm looking for. So I don't just randomly look for things and come out with a whole bunch of stuff I didn't really want or need. I go in with a purpose. So recently I've had a few things on my list. Like I wanted some really nice new dangly earrings. And, you know, I didn't want them to just be cheapies that are just gold plated and will wear really quickly. I wanted something a little bit different. And I found these. Check them out. So these are Gucci. I know, how cool, right? I don't usually wear designer logo stuff, but I thought they're really cool because they're quite subtle. And you probably, unless I kind of pointed it out to you or you had a really sharp eye, wouldn't even notice that it's the Gucci logo. But what's even better is they're not from a Gucci store and I didn't pay like thousands of dollars for them. They're actually upcycled buttons. How cool is that? So I found a lady online through a blogger I follow, which is Erin Busby. Her YouTube channel and her Instagram is Busby Style. If you're over 45, and even if you're not, she's fabulous, follow her. So she actually put me on to this. It's a website called Designer Therapy, and it has all upcycled buttons made into jewelry, and they're incredibly affordable compared to if this was the real thing, right? So these are really cool because I love them. I think they look great. I wanted something dangly and a bit groovy and something a little bit luxe. So there you go. So they are my score. Now, when it comes to bargain shopping and recycle secondhand shopping in general, it's actually not just about the fact that I don't want to spend as much money. I also feel great about the fact that I'm reducing my carbon footprint, that I'm not adding to the incredible waste we have on this planet. You know, used to be somebody's button, now it's my earrings. I love that. The top I'm wearing today, which actually I forget what label it is, sorry, if I may look it up. I don't think it's anything particularly fancy, but I really love it because it fits me perfectly and it's a really great quality garment. And I found this in a recycled designer clothing store not very long ago. My friend actually happens to manage one here in Adelaide, so I'm a very lucky ducky because I go to visit her and I usually find something lovely to walk out with. So, you know, the garment industry is rife with all sorts of problems. So I love knowing that I can buy quality garments without adding to problems like child labor and, you know, adding waste to the planet. Now, here's my other little score that is fairly new. Do you like my beautiful new handbag? Now, this is actually a Hobbs bag, so it's not, you know, like a Chanel or anything. It's a Hobbs bag. It's beautiful. And everybody comments on it when I use it. And I found it on Vestiaire and it was $50. I know it was actually listed for $100 and then they just decided they wanted to get rid of it. So it was reduced to $50 and I snapped it up and I think I added $10 postage. So not bad, right? Now the bag I tend to use most days, this is my new black bag. I actually have a brown bag, which is an Oroton bag. Oroton is one of my favorite brands. And that one, I just happened to, I was just walking through an op shop going, is there anything here for me? And I found it in an op shop and I think I paid $40 for it. And I really, really like it. And it was in mint condition. What else have we got? Oh, this I just scored literally yesterday. This link look is really in at the moment. And I wanted something gold and lovely. And this is actually a Jag watch. And I've scored it in one of my favorite op shops yesterday for $25. So all of these things are, and you know, I lay it up for you for the purpose of this video. I do buy new as well. But I love op shopping. And if I can buy something secondhand, recycled, then I prefer to because it also lessens my environmental impact. It's less wasteful. I'm spending less money getting cool stuff. And that allows us to have more money for the things that are actually much more important to us, like traveling, like, you know, securing our finances so that we can just turn around and say, I don't want to do that anymore anytime we choose. It gives us options. It gives us choices. And I get really, really excited when I come home with a bargain. And like I said, the trick is, though, not to just go buy a million things you don't need, but still do it with a purpose. So I do have ambitions of having a minimalist wardrobe. I've had some attempts at it, but it seems to expand really fast every time I color it. But that's kind of the philosophy that I really want to bring to this, that we don't need all this stuff and we don't need to spend thousands of dollars on something that we're going to replace in a couple of years when we can have pretty much the same thing for a whole lot less money and be so much smarter with our money instead. Oh, and just to let you know that I don't always get it perfectly right and I'm not perfect by any stretch. A little while ago, I decided that I hated all my belts and that I needed to replace them. So my intention was to find myself a really cool reversible Ferragamo belt because it's a beautiful luxe designer thing. You know, it's a nice little statement. It's not too loud and garish in terms of being a logo, but they're reversible, so I can get a 2-in-1. I can get, you know, brown and black combination and just have this one really cool belt that'll pretty much do me with everything. And I tend to wear jeans most of the time anyway. So I started looking and they're a little bit hard to come by at a price I'm willing to pay. I decided that if I could get one for under $250, that was going to be a really good investment. And so I started looking and, you know, it was harder to find one at that price than I thought. And I ended up giving up. And so I actually bought myself a brand new Oroton belt, a black one that I really like with a beautiful big buckle. And no, sorry, that was Country Road. And then I also found a really well discounted brown one on the Oroton outlet website that I really liked. So I ended up buying a brand new black one and a heavily reduced new one on the Oroton side. And I had like my black and my brown. And I was like, nah, I was a bit disappointed, but I needed to tick the box, right? And then we were driving home after flying home from an interstate trip, and we were in the cab, and it was like 10 o'clock at night, and I get a notification coming up from eBay because I'd put those belts on my wish list, the Ferragamo belts, and one was about to finish auctioning, and it wasn't described very well, and nobody had bid on it. So I did in the cab on the way home in the Uber, and scored it for $160. And I decided that $250 was my maximum budget. I paid $160, but I had already bought the other two belts. But I still decided it was totally worth it. And, you know, sometimes shit happens. However, I now have, well, basically four, because the Ferragamo is reversible. I basically have four really cool, lovely belts that I still paid about $250 for in total, and I can recycle my old belts and give them a beautiful new home with somebody else who appreciates them. Now, the key to doing all of this without blowing the budget and going crazy is, like I said, you know, I do tend to decide that this is the items I'm looking for, these are the pieces I need, and then I mindfully go looking for them. And in terms of your money plan, you need to have an allocation for that kind of fun money. So part of my personal fun money allocation every single month goes towards clothing, you know, accessories, that kind of thing. And sometimes if I decide I want something a little bit more luxe that may be more expensive, I might save up for 2 or 3 months before I get it. But the key is that you still have parameters around it and you decide what they are. And then if you happen to find it cheaper, you know, and you don't have to save up for the second month because you did find it secondhand and you did find it in a thrift shop, then you get to celebrate. You get to celebrate that you have even more money available to have fun with, while the money that's there to make sure you reach your financial goals and create financial security is safely protected. Now, I did record some quick tip episodes that are like only 2 minutes long recently. And this is one you definitely want to check out because it is about how to allocate fun money and actually use it to become even more magnetic. And if you know that you could organize your money a whole lot better, then start by joining me for the free Organize and Tidy Your Banking workshop, which you can get at the link in the description below. And if you enjoyed this episode, be sure to give it a thumbs up, hit subscribe, and share it with any friends you think could benefit from it as well. It's time to embrace your unlimited potential and really empower yourself around your finances. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.